Peace and blessings. This is Mr. Westbrooks, educator, astronumerologist, and co-host of Unread Book Review with Nick and Rue. Let me put y'all up on this new ebook series that's here to educate our people of all ages, especially the youth, about our collective power, both historically, presently, and beyond. Voices of the Diaspora, written by Knowledge Born Allah, is unique in that it takes the traditional e-reading experience and infuses it with audio recordings, revolutionary songs, and revolutionary music videos. Some of the topics include stories about Black entrepreneurs, stories about Black women who have shaped our world, and stories of Black innovators who've impacted the field of STEAM, plus much more. If you want to know more about this series and what it has to offer, check out our unread episode featuring Knowledge Born Allah, who was also the founder and host of Do the Knowledge Radio. After the interview, go log on to dotheknowledgeradio.com so you can get your copy of Voices of the Diaspora so that you, your family, your community, and your world can be inspired by the stories of visionaries shaping our future and honoring our past. Thank you in advance for your support and continue striving.
The government tell us we woke, and at the same time sell us the dope that leads to heart failures and strokes. Where do we start? Do we believe what the elders wrote, or the ones who watch through a telescope? The Illuminati cyclops, beast mark on every coast. The head of a cult, the devil goat that sits in a drum circle like a hippie, dressed like a gypsy. My best of rocket the nebula quotes is like Tesla notes. Now they got surveillance on Diddy. I'm a cross between Umar Johnson and Billy Carson. I told my grandmother that we are from where the stars from. I'm like Rod Hayes, but I'm Todd Wave with a blonde fade. Some days it'll be an orange braid, half shade, that's just his character. I made hair like lemonade. Both his parents come from Africa. Y'all know the prototype, it's the walking life. See, the sun is the source of light. It made my quartz bright as New York at night. They say when Walter Wright, he could steer Hathor to the boat of the moon. Into the cliff, sent to the glyphs to open the tombs. They say killer flows is like pillar porticos that fulfill the scrolls made of silver and gold. The bars I laid is like sculpted on the architrave. I wrote it like an art display of gods and goddesses with darker shades. I wrote it in the chamber, glowing like the child that was golden in the manger. Only 3 kings knew he was growing to be the savior. Okay, back to rap more about Hathor, the cow-headed near the Nile desert. Under the white clouds, the native dancing in the powwow. He wore the head crown of owl feathers as the clan went from loud records, and Priest and Jizza wrote their signature down on Geffen. And hip-hop's are where I found the presence. The shepherds are coming down from Mount Everest, surrounded by peasants with unclean skin disease. They called them leopard. I pointed a finger up and moved it around till I found the nebula. I told them I walked through Babylon, Persia, and Mecca. I talked to bees out their nectar, kings out their treasure. I've been counting ever since I've been walking. I started from forever. I've been writing on steelies inside of caverns where it's misty. Dealt tarot cards to the hands of time. Closed my eyes while the mouth of a cave kissed me. I gave the walls history. Y'all enslaved us all misery. That's why I shaved it off and came back bald, a mystery. I wrote it all on big slabs of lapis, lazuli, channel vibes to the candle fire. 12 candlesticks, 6 on amethyst. I write my scrolls on the clove of a rose. You see them when they unfold, the untold secret me and the queen bee hold. So when they make the pollen bin, I can communicate with the insect world like King Solomon. Solar gems, most wrote of him.
Then I went rogue on them, those who stole my pen. Then I went ice cold as wind. Geminis we roll as twins. When we take the mic, we're the walking life.
The D's rated houses looking for your favorite out of Brooklyn. Africa praises to the bushmen, to the natives in the woodlands, the razors in the Juxin, through the mazes of the bullpen. They killed our saviors, re-raised us and made us into hoodlums. Malcolm X became one of the greatest out of the Muslims, except for this boxer who never went to Oxford, never became a doctor, but got the rings of the chakras. Cassius Clay and Hathaway passed away, saw dimensions. George Benson, could this be a masquerade? Preacher said fast and pray. My mother's not there, but I asked her grave. Tiffany's not here, but her ashes stayed. What words will Prince and Michael Jackson say? I was a boy, now the mirror showed me patches of gray. Then it got black, and I started like tapping into a haze. days. The mirror said your hair looked glazed because that's how much passion you gave. This is what happened, you still rapping. The mirror became my healer when it told me I was a pyramid giver, a gold spitter and a soul filler. I came to slay the Antichrist. Walking life. Yeah, it's a prayer.
Now, who were some of your early influences?
Well, the planets, the creator, mythical gods, real ones, people, flowers, everything in nature, inspiration. Musicians get their inspiration really from environmental things, and all musicians are inspiration to me, no matter what style they're playing.
Boom. Okay. Peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of Do Not Radio, place where knowledge is born, shows knowledge one live. We are simulcasting right now, so if you're not clicking on where I'm at, you need to be on Something for the Culture on YouTube. Okay, we are simulcasting. Okay, casting. Don't get fired during the casting session because you ain't where you're supposed to be at. All right. So it becomes my honor and privilege at this time to introduce some present others. One of the most instrumental and prolific figures I have known for almost a decade. Okay, she is remarkable. She is fanciful. She is stylish. You see her, she's styling. Okay, she is styling for the culture. Okay, she got a heart of gold that reaches from elders to young people. My sister up in here, CEO of Something for the Culture. Okay, CEO of Something for the Culture. The one, the only. Jazzie Mother J is in the building.
I feel honored. Like, this is the first time I'm on the other end of the introduction.
Stop it. Okay. And shout out to my twin. My twin is in the building. Ashe Kenyetta. If you see this beautiful thing right here with these beautiful black women up here, remember I told you there was an artist that she loved me enough to do this for me? That is her. That is her. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So if you need this kind of work in your life and any other kind of graphics, any kind of thing, hit up Ashe Kenyetta aesthetics. Okay, she will get you aesthetically together. Okay, together or whatever. Okay, and she my Gemini twin. All right, we letting the Tauruses be great right now, but I'm saying, you know, the way the senators talk about the twins, the twin, the twinners are coming. Okay, the twinners will be here in like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and we're rumbling. Okay, we're rumbling. All right, so get it together. But Jazzie J, how are you feeling? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing blessed and highly favored as always.
Okay. All right. So I'm really here to get your take on sinners, and I'm going to augment it with a couple of other topics, something overarching. But before we get into the actual movie, the overarching theme that I want to discuss today is energy vampires. And spiritual redemption or spiritual redeemers. These are two themes that I didn't hear too many people talking about in all of their discussion. We heard all of them. Some of them was good, but most of them, let me tell y'all something. I didn't appreciate it, okay? I did not appreciate most of those breakdowns that y'all was giving, that y'all was calling breakdowns. Y'all need to break up. Okay, y'all need to break up and let the professionals do what they do, because there's some real practitioners that's out here that was really offended by people misrepresenting their cultural lives. Okay, people live these traditions that some of y'all was acting like y'all know all of a sudden. Like, no, fam, no, don't do it. They're doing part 2, part 3, part 12 breakdowns and stuff.
Right.
I'm like, fam,
and not
you shouldn't have never did that.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, cool. A lot of the movie went over a lot of people's heads, you know, and then a lot of people
that should have hit him in the head. It should have hit him in the head.
It should
in
have.
The forehead.
I congratulate Ryan Coogler on the work that he did. Right. I think he did an amazing job.
Yeah, shout out to the Gemini. And Timor, shout out to Timor, because Timor was here before we even got on. Okay, Timor was like, I'm in the building for the culture. Okay,
Okay.
Timor for president. Okay, if we
Okay.
get 1,000 more Timors, we'll be in the building. For real,
And
for
a
real.
thousand more Kenyatta's, because her work is amazing
Yeah,
back there.
yeah. Mm. We can't duplicate her. Okay, we can't. It's
Of
impossible. They
course
tried.
not.
They tried.
Of
I
course.
seen like the little Timu versions, the Sheen versions, the knockoffs.
Not the She version.
Not. Can't do that. Can't do that. Okay. So yeah. So the question is: are we feeding vampires or freeing our spirits? Are we feeding the energy vamps that are out here? What's your thoughts on energy vampires? And what is something that you could tie that kind of into like regular life and then into the movie?
Well, first off, Kenyatta, you welcome, honey. And second off, we walk amongst energy vampires every day. We work with them. Hell, they can be in our family. They could be friends that's really low key foes. I mean, we're amongst them every day. So it's not uncommon that we are walking amongst these people. And sometimes you may not know that you're amongst these type of energy suckers. They'll give signs, and sometimes we do miss the red flags that we are amongst these people, because we want to see the good in everybody, but that's just not the case. Everybody does not have a genuine good-hearted soul. That's just not reality,
Yes.
And to tie it to a personally to me, I mean, I've had that type of energy around me, and I'm the type of person, once I see that you are draining me mentally, emotionally, because that's what matters to me. Physically, that we're not even going to get to that, but emotionally and mentally, that's when I take my exit, stage left.
You
Stage
gone?
left. Because if I don't take my exit stage left, and not to promote violence, but sometimes it might have to get to that. I don't want it
Yes.
to get to that, but I need to exit stage left expeditiously. Okay. So
Some of the podcast family in there. Shout out to me to your chat. Your chat. Okay. Rakib in the building. What's going on to my brother, man? That's love, man. You see, you be on we be on these other platforms and they just come through. They be like, "What's up? What's good? Yo, what y'all got going on over here? Okay, what y'all got going on for the culture? Okay, what y'all doing the knowledge to today? Huh? Yeah.
okay.
So, energy vampires, right? This is something that they had as an undercurrent in the movie, but we were concerned with the vampires that we saw on the screen, right? But
Right.
long before that, there was an undercurrent. The twins had a bond that they would call a familial bond, but has this precipice in the trauma. It's a trauma bond, which many connections we do have with people that we say we love, or this is family. I don't care. That's my family, and blah, blah, blah. If they know how to weaponize that, they will use that against you. So there was a bond that the older brother, by a few minutes, had for the younger brother, and the circumstances of their birth and all of those things. That was something that wasn't healed. So they could have a real bond as brothers. And then when you look at the relationship between the younger brother and the father, because of the conditions of his birth, now that becomes another bond that is a trauma bond based upon evil, right? So
Don't forget
that
about,
bond.
not to
Go
cut you
ahead.
off, brother. Don't forget about Annie and Smoke's trauma bond, that baby.
Right.
That
Well, their bond was strong, but then they had to deal with collateral beauty, and collateral beauty is a psychological term that happens when you lose a loved one, and once you lose a loved one, most couples, most marriages, most relationships don't last.
Right. They
So
tend to crumble.
right. So now a trauma bond would be that they stayed together even though this event happened. Some folks might call it resilient, but no, the precipice of them coming together wasn't a child. The child happened as a result of them coming together, but them trying to pretend that they could get past it. A part of it was, even though he vocalized, he was like, it hurts me to come back. Now, this is something where healing takes place, where he said it hurt for him to come back because of what happened. But his care for her and his love for her, I love you and I miss you. That's something. That's something where they get back to themselves for that, moment in time. Now, that's something different. And most folks don't vocalize that. After that, they don't have that. If y'all saw the movie Collateral Beauty, Will Smith's character and his wife in the film, they had to find their way back to each other. She even acted like she didn't even know him, like he was a stranger. You don't find out that was his wife and that was their child until the end of the movie. So they both had to heal separately and they found their way back together. And by the end of the movie, they had another child together.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these things happen in regards to that, where what you were saying about, folks being manipulative and they kind of prey on you the same way this vampiric energy is showed in a personage outside of themselves. So for those who were right with themselves, they weren't susceptible, and other ones that were there, they were susceptible one way or another. You know what I'm saying? So just interesting how some of these things there. And for everyone that was like, Sammy must have sold his soul and blah blah blah. They didn't see spiritual redemption, right? They didn't see spiritual redemption. So I know you about to go in, so let me just give way to you as far as that goes. But just your thoughts again on the film, on energy vampires. Well, let me just play this little. I got a little clip that talk about energy vampires and how to spot them, and then we'll keep on going.
People. These are energy vampires, drawn to your spiritual light. The more positive energy you radiate, the more they seek to feed off of it, often without realizing it. Energy vampires can leave you feeling exhausted, pulling on your emotions, and leaving you depleted. As someone with spiritual light, you're a magnet for them. But protecting your energy is crucial. Set firm boundaries, distance yourself from toxic influences, and practice grounding techniques like meditation to recharge. Shielding your aura keeps your spiritual light strong. Remember, protecting your energy isn't selfish. It's essential to stay aligned with your purpose and continue shining.
These AI little videos that they using to narrate make me sick a little bit. But yeah. Your thoughts? Was there anything of value in the video?
I wanted to tap on real quick with Kenyatta said it in the comments because this was very much true. Mary's desire to belong, because she just lost her mother. She just freshly buried her mother, and she kind of tapped on it a little bit when she was sitting there talking to Remick before she realized, like, okay, something's not right. She wanted to belong. She was lost. And he was tapping on her vulnerability, kind of, when he was like, yeah, you looking for something. Like, it ain't this money, but you looking for something. And she definitely was, which is why they were able to draw her in the way they did. And as far as Annie goes, Annie was the most powerful character out of everyone in that bond. The reason a lot of people didn't understand, well, let me not say didn't understand. A lot of people misinterpret when Smoke killed her, why Mary and Stax got so upset when Smoke killed her. It's not because they were, their human form or human emotions came out, because as Remick said in the movie, he has all their thoughts. He's controlling all of them. The whole colony he's controlling. So he has their memories, their thoughts, everything, all control over them. What it was, why they were upset, and it wasn't that they were upset, it was more so Remick upset through the eye of them, is because she was such a powerful source. Had Smoke not killed her and let her turn, that would have been a powerful win for Remick and the colony, because then they could have took that force and then turned everybody in the free world over into an even huger colony, which is what Remick ultimately wanted to do. Which is why he said when he came to the door, well, can't for just one night we all be family? Sir, no, we can't all be family. You go down back to the road where they told you to come from, where you came from.
Yeah, he was seeking to find his way in. And
yes.
the hypnotic power, or the power of pushing the thought that was there, that was his main power. So he was trying everybody out. And when he saw that Annie was staunch on it, there was no penetrating that. So she was the protector of everybody that was there. And when she identified her as family,
no,
they pushed the thought to her because she was unlike everybody that was there. Right. So they pushed the thought to her, and unbeknownst to everybody, to Stack. So to her and to Stack, and to Sammy. So it looked like he didn't penetrate nobody, but he knew that somebody was coming to act, and it was going to be her. So he said that's why he said, "Oh, we'll walk slow in case you change your mind." So they walked and sat down, and he told them, like, "Yeah, Shorty gonna come out here."
First of all, let's just say this. First of all, Remick had Stack from the beginning. I don't know if y'all peeped that. Before even Mary went out there, he had Stack from the beginning. Because when they was up there singing that song with them 3 banjos, okay, and he talking about some pick for Robin clean, Stack was feeling that whole beat. That whole, he was riding with him. Okay, he was over there bobbing and weaving and feeling the vibe. They penetrated him a little bit then, and they was trying to hypnotize them with the whole banjo sequence of being all in unison, and they had Stacks there.
Yeah, they was pulling like a little siren thing. They had one voice, and they was saying things melodic, and that song is the Black Woman song that they hijacked and gentrified it for the film. You know? So
now I will say that was what was comical, or who was comical and played his part very well, and I felt like was the breakout character in that movie, was Cornbread.
Yeah.
Cornbread was the breakout character. Okay. He was the breakout character. When my man came back, first of all, let's just be Cornbread did not have to go that far to go use that bathroom. Okay. At all.
Evidently he did.
I think Cornbread just wanted a break.
Cornbread hugged Mary. Mary and him both got turned. Smoke got turned. Not Smoke. Stack got turned. And Sammy was intrigued by that. So anybody who had these motivations where it was all delusion, they were susceptible. You see what I'm saying? So while Smoke's trauma bond with protecting his brother and protecting his family was a thing, because again, he couldn't protect his daughter. That was something that haunted him.
And Sammy did not this is the thing. Now, Ryan Coogler did say in an interview that he took the character that Sammy was in the movie and based it around Robert Johnson somewhat. But that was not, he was not actually Robert Johnson in the movie. I don't want people to misinterpret that, because he's not. Because a lot of people, I kept seeing a lot of people online and even on my timeline saying that at the end, because a lot of people did not see the end credits, because a lot of people were getting up and leaving before the end credits actually played out, that you could not see Sammy's reflection. If you actually go back and look at it, you can see Sammy's reflection. It's just the way he's sitting at the bar, but you can see him sitting and his reflection at the bar. He did not make a deal with the devil at all. The deal that was made was between Smokes and Stacks, which is why Stacks and Mary was still alive. Mary ran out and ran down the road. That's how she escaped. And Smoke locked Stacks in that barn, which is why the barn, or juke joint, was still locked. Remember, the clan could not get in. He locked him in there to protect him from being burnt up from the sun. And then he made a deal with him to let Sammy live out his life. And you know, Stacks always had a soft spot for, because that's their cousin in the movie. He always had a soft spot for Sammy, even before any of the antics happened. You know, they had their little moment in the car. He always had a soft spot. So that was the real agreement.
Yeah, you told him how to find that button. That was the real agreement. Okay.
Right. On Miss Hot Perline.
Yeah. And he sure did find that button. Okay. I'm proud of my boy.
Your boy did. Because first she went on that.
Check out my little cousin.
Okay. Because Perline went out there and danced for the deaf. She was on it after that.
No. Okay. Made
and
a speaking tongue.
And a lot of people also didn't realize that those were the 7 sins. Each person was representing 7 sins: wrath, lust, greed. Perline was definitely lust. Okay, her and Sammy, they were lusting all over the place. Perline walked. You understand me? Walked to that juke joint from God knows where, and she told my man Sammy that. She said, "Sammy, Lord, man, I want to do that right now. You know, I just walked 1,000 miles now." Sammy said, "I don't care."
Yeah. Okay. Proud of my boy.
Not proud.
Proud of my boy. Yeah, see, this is Sammy's story. He's sitting in that bar telling this story to the bar guy at his old age. So this is his recollection. So the events are permeated around his recollection. So this is his recollection of a time 60 years ago. And, you know, the bar dude probably like, yeah, this old dude always talking this BS, blah, blah, blah. Because it's his place. It ain't like it's not his place. You're like, it's his place. But in walks the people that he's talking about.
Right. Right.
Absolutely. Let me play this from Black Dot real quick in a second.
Value that you have in this day and time is your energy. And what I mean by that is, see, this social media thing, we think is something that's outside of us. It is no longer outside of us. It is now integrated with your level of intelligence, even though your perception is something that you're logging on. The only thing they haven't done is put the actual chip in you to make it and you one. But all is mental. We spend so much time in social media that the only thing drives it is our energy. In this day and time, your energy is so valuable that you can no longer give it to useless causes. You can no longer allow, because each and every day you are allotted a certain amount of, let's just say, energy calories, mental, physical, and spiritual, metaphorically speaking, energy calories. How you burn those calories determine the rest of your day, the rest of your week, maybe the rest of your life. There are some people who burn so much energy calories on nothing that they have nothing. They're depleted of everything. As Malcolm spoke about the social media, I can say LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. Now, when you jump on that train, speaking, right, giving your energy to it, where is that train going? That train is a train that leads to nowhere but burnt energy that you can't get back, because we're talking two different eras. There's so many different variables. The train leads to nowhere. So we spend so much time, the government is getting ready to release one of their great programs, which is the football season. And you will burn energy upon wasted energy with this program. Now you have to consolidate your energy to the people who mean the most to you, to the things that mean the most to you. So if you're on the train of life, right, and you're moving down a specific road, you need to know where that train is going. You would not get on a train not knowing where the hell it was going, right? So your energy is what is infused into that train of thought and wherever that train is going. If you ever ran an ad campaign, Google does this. See, Google gathers all of your information. So it enables me, if I was running an ad campaign, to say I want to target 18 to 35-year-old black men living in the ghetto who just came home from jail. And they can cook it up and target specifically that audience. Your government has been the masters at it. Politicians are the absolute best. They know the topics that are gonna rile you up. Let's go through them. Abortion, gun rights, education, gay marriage, blah, blah, blah. And they run, and you give your energy. You get on those trains. You get on the gun control train, and it's a train to nowhere. You get on the abortion train and ain't nothing changed in 100 years. You get on the education train, and so you start realizing you jumping on these trains, burning your energy, and it's leading you to nowhere. When the energy now has to go inward, I need a return on my energy, right? If I put something out, I need to get something back, all right? I just got finished telling you the government is getting ready to run one of their biggest campaigns of the year, which is football season. And you say shit like, yo, if this year we shore up our defense, we can do this. And then there's only one winner at the end of the season, and they give them a fucking gold ball. That's it. That's the payoff, and they give it to the owner. You just wasted game after game, energy after energy, money, time, and there was really nothing of value on your return to get back. Now, the conscious community does the same thing. There are those who run campaigns in the conscious community. It could be the Black Power campaign. It could be the racist campaign. It could be the reparations campaign. It could be the police brutality campaign. It could be the Who Created Hip Hop campaign. Whatever the campaign is, right? And they're doing it in real time because they already know, just like any other ad you run, when I put this statement out here or I let this train leave the station, there are a certain amount of people who are going to get on these trains and who are going to give me the energy I need to manipulate your energy for their own benefit. These are vampires. And before you speculate on who I'm talking about, it's too many to mention. How about that? Right? So in this day and time, what you're going to have to do is guard your energy a little more closely. And you're going to have to say to yourself, where's this train going? Like even the reparations train, you could say, all right, if I get on this reparations train, the end goal is we want to get paid. But if I get on the Who Created Hip Hop train, who gives a fuck? Where's this train going? Because at the end of the day, let's say we find out black people started hip hop. Now what? Now what? Now we started jazz, blues, rock and roll, as I said on Black Rich Show, the traffic light, air conditioning, refrigeration, mathematics, science. Where does it end? Because we created something. So the
We just out here having fun,
Hmm.
telling ghost stories.
Doing what we ought to do. That's what Cornbread said. And then
That's
what he
what
said
Black
after
Dot
that?
said, right? You out here tell us ghost stories.
Hmm.
You know
Can
what
I
I'm
get my
saying?
money?
Let me get my money.
Okay.
So yeah. Energy
You know,
vampires, attention vampires, all kind of. Go ahead. You was about to go ahead.
no, I wanted to tap on just to piggyback a little bit off what you had originally said about Smokes and Stack's trauma bonding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we also forgot that they were bonded by blood and brokenness. They were both
Right.
victims of and survivors of childhood abuse and systematic oppression, which is why Mary's mom was taking care of them.
A
You know,
surrogate. Yeah.
right. So, they just overall they wanted to, be free of that whole oppression of being broke and having to scavenge and, rob banks and all that scamming, you know, that was their dream. And unfortunately, they met their demise, one by the KKK, and one by the demon that basically overpowered Stacks, if you want to say. So,
Well, they
and then
both got what they wanted.
right,
Their ultimate goal.
right,
The trauma bond that Smoke had was with disbelief
yeah,
and what was natural for him. It was
right,
something that was natural for him. There was something that he could recognize in his own life,
mm-hmm.
but the aspirations of what his brother wanted came in between them. You see what
Right,
I'm saying? So they came back and wanted the juke joint. That was Stack. Stack wanted that, that delusions of grandeur, but he was real about himself. He wasn't confused about himself, and that's
right.
what he told Mary. He told Mary, like, "Look, I wasn't gonna never be shit, and I ain't want you with me because we couldn't be together, and I wasn't never gonna be shit." Like that was it. Like he had
And
it
then
in
what
his
did Mary
mind.
say?
Yeah, yeah.
What did Mary say at that outside when it was
Like
when she walked up? She said, "Oh, but you stuck your tongue in my coos and f me so hard. I thought you changed your mind, honey." Huh? You heard what she said? Hmm.
yeah. So those kind of realizations, she's like she didn't like he had set her up with that rich dude,
Yeah.
taught him how to game her and all that and getting in game so she could be somewhere and be safe. And she ain't want none of that. She said she wanted to be him with
Now
him.
this
She
I did
ain't
have a question for you.
go ahead.
With their whole that whole relationship right there, because it was kind of glossed over, but I mean mentioned a little bit that Stacks was a pimp, right? He was a
Mm-hmm,
pimp.
mm-hmm.
So was Mary his bottom B?
Yes.
Because the reason why I asked that, because when he said the point about how, he showed her how to get money and this and that,
Yeah.
and the way he sent her outside to Remick,
Yeah.
it very much gave bottom B pimp relationship. That's what I
Well,
took from it.
he was trying to not send her outside.
No, she wanted to go.
Yeah. These are two things that happened. That thought got pushed to both of them. When Stack realized that he failed his brother, because all them plantation dollars and what nickels wasn't adding up to what the expense really was for what they had to pay for the place and
Right,
all
the
this other
overhead.
stuff. Yeah. And so the overhead had them underwater. He said, "We're underwater," if you remember what he told her. He didn't
Right,
say that out loud to nobody. We didn't know that. We thought that they was doing all right because it's whatever it was. He said,
right,
"We underwater." So against his best judgment, he sent her out there. Well, he okayed her to go out there because
right,
if he really put his foot down and said, "Nah, she wouldn't have went out there." You see what I'm
right,
saying? But the thought was already in her head and in his head. So they were acting it out as if it was their own rational thoughts that came to that
right,
decision. But that fear is something that motivated them to be short sighted. You see what I'm saying? So fear right there. And delusion. Right. But in essence, the foundational thing is they wanted to be together. So they had concocted a scheme, like they always concocting some scheme to, okay, this is how we're gonna be able to do this together. We all gonna be together. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
these are all of these things that are right there that are pushing them towards this decision that they don't even really want. It's a means to an end for them to have their loved ones all together. So this was, go ahead.
No, I just thought about, as you were saying that, who kind of ticked me off in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot. Was it Grace? Is her name Grace?
Grace.
The Korean lady. Her name was Grace, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Grace got on my nerve, and I'm gonna tell you why Grace got on my nerve. Because, first of all, Grace, I understand that you was Raph, the seventh son. I get it, honey. You was angry because you sent your husband out there to go get the car because you was trying to get up out of there. But once you saw your husband had turned and y'all ate the garlic, Andy then broke down to you what's going on, how to protect yourselves, what we need to do. We need to stand as one. Why did you take yourself and proceed to tell this man and his colony to come the hell on in? The whole movie, we've been trying to keep this man outside. Him, cornbread, hell, collard greens, yams, everybody. We've been trying to keep all of them outside. And here you go. Talking about coming on in.
So that's the time.
And I thought she was gonna do some damage. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. I thought when Remy came in,
I didn't see no damage in her at all, not even a tiny bit. Okay, like not
the energy she gave, like she was getting ready to do something.
Yeah, it meant absolutely nothing. Okay,
you're right. She did absolutely nothing.
No, it didn't mean anything. But the statement is clear. Okay, people can party with you. They might even fuss with you. They might even try to mimic you, but they're not willing to stand with you, and they damn sure ain't about to die with you. So stop trying to unify with people because they look like they're in a similar position. All of that stuff they were talking with the Irish and all that other foolishness. Like, yo, everybody want to eat you. Okay, everybody want to eat you, and they want to leech off you. They don't want to be with you. They don't want to be you either.
Just like they
want to devalue you. Like stop playing.
Right, Remick and the rest of them ate the rest of the. Because that club was packed. I don't know if y'all seen the beginning of this movie. That club was packed, and then we got down to 9 short ribs because that's what the Remick and them was looking like. They was looking like to Remick in the colony. 9 short ribs and an egg roll. Because that's what was left. Right. 9 short ribs and an egg roll.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And here you go with the BS.
While Sammy was in there playing and everybody's ancestry got brought out, you got to look and see what everybody's perceptual energy was. Yeah. There wasn't nobody crip walking and twerking with them agents. There was that one ancestral spirit that was right there that was dancing around a little bit, and that was it. And it wasn't nothing else. It wasn't Bruce Lee over there moonwalking. It wasn't none of that other stuff that was going on. You understand? So there was care that was taken and part of perceptual imagery, and that's what's going on the inside. But with Remick and them other 2 Klansmen, wasn't no difference in none of them. Y'all can tell me whatever y'all want to tell me. They saw this thing as something to burn down and some people to destroy so that they can control them.
Look, I'm gonna put it to you like this. The whole part, and this went over a lot of people's heads too. Well, I'm basing this off of, I'm not gonna say it went over a lot of people's heads who saw the movie, but based on some of the reviews that I've seen people talking about it, the movie, This particular part went over some people's heads with that aspect. When Remick and the Colony and them were dancing out there, the Road to Dublin song. Okay, what it was now, here we are, these are all black people in there with one white girl, okay? And he's taking it. Now, he already said the Klan, they planned to come and kill y'all anyway. It's no different from what Remick was doing either. Because all he was doing was taking these black people, stripping them, because individually they were all different walks of life, different shades, different everything. And all he wanted to do was pull them into his colony and make them one, what he was, which is what we go through in society anyway.
With him being in control of it.
Right.
For the benefit of his people, for the benefit of his ancestry.
Exactly. Okay. And then the genius scene for me personally, I can't speak for nobody else, but for me, is when they took the most famous portrait, and we've seen this in Good Time Show, because it's at the end of the Good Time Show when they roll the credits. We've seen this for years. I'm in my 40s, and I've seen this since I was a little girl. I'm sure you've seen the same portrait as you was growing up, because that's how old that picture is. And to turn that into the juke joint scene, where you see different decades and generations of us African dance, twerking, tap dancing, ballet. Hell, there was even a little Asian in there doing a dance. Like, the complete genius on Ryan Coogler's part to implicate that scene in there. I thought he executed this movie very well. It wasn't just a vampire movie. It was more on a spiritual, more of a awakening. It was more on the level of Lovecraft Country. If you've ever seen that show, because it got canceled, because they was telling too damn much on that damn show. If you ever seen Lovecraft Country, it's on the same level as that.
Yeah, and he was in that movie.
And yes, she was. She was the one that kept changing. Her body would change form into a white woman, and she was dating some white man. I think he had the elixir for her to turn. But please go watch Lovecraft Country. You can still view it even though it's canceled.
Yeah, and the guy that was in Creed 3, he was in there too. What's his name? The one who married to the girl Megan Good. What's his name?
I forgot his name though. What is his name? Jesus. It'll come to me.
Yeah, he was in Creed 3 with Michael B. Jordan. He played the antagonist.
Yeah. Let me see. A good husband's name.
Jonathan Majors. Somebody wrote.
Majors, that's it.
Thank you, twin. Okay, because my brain was gone. I would have never.
All right, Kieta coming strong in the comments. Thank you, honey.
Right, that's my twin. Okay, Gemini up in here.
So
yes, like his betrayal, and that's the betrayal. Like you lay down with dogs, you wake up with fleas. You see what I'm saying? So you out there, messing around with them, even for a little bit. It don't take much. And when Mary went outside to talk to them, she got the same fool's gold that they got. It wasn't like it was more gold.
No.
So again, we look at these outside things for validation on some kind of level. So you looking for their money, right? That whole thing. Oh, can we all be family for one night? Yeah, and you'll be slaves for the rest of your life.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like these are the compromises you make when you make, these sort of deals. So that's what you look at. So,
but you know what? I have something to add on to that family comment, because, and I don't know how anybody's going to take this. Really, I don't. really care, but I'm gonna say it anyway because it is what it is. We need to stop inviting everybody to the damn cookout. Stop inviting everybody to the cookout, please. There's no more.
Unless you want raisins and sauerkraut and chow mein in the potato salad, okay? It'll get up in there.
Don't come to the cookout. Stay where you at. We don't need you at the cookout. Matter of fact, ain't even no cookout. We don't even have a cookout going on. Everybody at home chilling, minding their own business. That's the problem. We inviting too many people into the culture, and now it's getting so misconstrued, and it's just crazy. And then we get upset and wonder why. Stop. Look, matter of fact, look at what's the little girl name now? Because everybody talking about her on TikTok and social media. Janelle, is that the girl, the boots on the ground girl? That's charging $6K right now. She's charging $6K.
Is she?
Yeah, she's charging she's charging $6K for you.
What kind of fan is that? What?
Well,
she got a $6,000 fan.
First of all, I don't even think you should be getting any kind of K's or any alphabets because, for one, you did not create
KKKs.
She didn't create the dance, though, bro. It was a whole black girl that created the dance. All you did was it made it look viral. You made it go viral because they thought she was a white girl, which, I mean, technically she is, because she keeps saying that she got a black father, but we have yet to see a parent in sight.
Oh.
But you know, all she did was
all my friends are black. She said.
You said what?
All my friends are black. Yeah.
Right. It was giving very much that energy. She charging $6K for a dance that you stole from a black girl that she created. And then what was crazy about it, when she started telling people that she was charging $6K, I guess the promoter was like, no, I'm not going to pay you $6K because what are you really doing? You ain't doing that. It's not even line dance you're doing anymore. At this point, you just shaking your ass. It's not line dancing. You shaking your ass, okay? And you're not even the creator. But what killed me about that promoter was then he doubled back to the girl who actually created and booked her. But why didn't you book her first? Was it because she was a black woman and you thought that because this fair-skinned girl was going to do some type of damage or whatever you thought? But that's what I'm
doing with those TikTok dances during the pandemic. It was the same thing, right?
Yeah. Like, I'm so sick of seeing this girl all over my timeline. Like, I want to take her boots, her shorts, of the fan, anything she bring into the damn dance. Don't come. Don't come at all.
Oh man. Yeah, you ain't got to go to a movie to see that. You ain't got to go to a movie to see that. That's it, right on your timeline.
Right.
The other movie. Yeah, it's right there.
And then she proceeds to say, I guess a fan got on the stage with her to dance alongside her. Sure. Or I think the girl was either booked with her or something of that nature. A dark-skinned girl. Mm-hmm. And then she says, well, nobody can fuck with me at all. Ma'am, you didn't make a dance. What did you do? Who can't fuck with you? The women that been doing that since the dawn of time?
Yeah. Yes.
Now she look like Tisha Campbell from That is hilarious.
Yeah, boots in the ground. Okay.
Right. My whole point of going into that was because we tend to give passes to people that are not part of the culture or white or not, not part of the culture because they could do a little shimmy or they can speak a little ethnic. And we think, let's invite them to the cookout. No, it's not cool. Because then when we need them to be down for the culture for real, they're not going to be.
Yeah, why would you expect him to be? Yeah, that's foolish.
Right.
You know, Grace had that do rag on. She was going to go party with the Negroes. You
Who?
understand? Go make a go. Grace, she had that red bandana on her head. She had the do rag on.
Grace who? You talking about Grace and Sinners?
Yeah, yeah.
Trash.
They
What was
they
she
know
gonna
how
do?
to show up. I'm telling you, they know how to
I'm
show
sure
up
she
and
did. She
play.
was showing up
Yeah.
for some
So
money.
she in there making that money, and her husband in there gambling. That's the reason why he went.
Right.
He was asking about the casino to smoke. Like, oh, y'all hit big at the casino? You see what I'm saying? So you like if you know Asian folks and gambling, please. All right.
Right.
So yeah. So with like understanding that whole dynamic right there, like this was a gamble. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And another thing that Stack said, like, yeah, I also told you uh to leave when the money was up. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like when you run in that, he basically telling the con, the con game, like, yo, like this is it. Like leave on the up. Don't wait around till you rock
Right.
bottom again. You see what I'm saying? If you come up, you roll out. You don't you trying to wait around. So
Right.
he's like, I basically handed you a win and you back down here trying to slum with me. Yeah, no, so it was
Right. You
bugged out.
fumbling.
But I'm gonna roll through my book real quick. This is volume 6. Reclaiming our narrative to empower black minds. One of the reasons why I started discussing the film industry as a whole.
Hmm.
So these are not new things. These are very old things. So I'm gonna go through it real quick. Written and illustrated by myself. Okay.
Wait,
Uh-huh.
before you even go any further, let me just say this. For y'all who have not copped this, I need y'all to go out and cop this. Like with all seriousness. I don't care what y'all do, how y'all get it. Listen, if y'all gotta go get them coins from Remick outside, go get them.
Yeah, don't get him remembered. Just don't try to fight me with him.
Okay.
So I put these clan hoods, like those robes and those hoods that they showed that was laying on the table, just let you know that they ain't separate whether they was inside them clothes or outside them clothes. Because one thing he did say to the brothers, he said the clan don't exist no more. But these robes right here, meaning that in this sense, they wasn't coming to see you like that, but they ain't need those things to come see you.
Right, because they come in you in different forms.
Right. So they shape shifted right here. So all right, when we look at media historical misrepresentation of black life, I start touching on a couple of the subjects. The minstrel show of the 1800s, aka blackface,
Mm-hmm.
the scientific racism, and then Birth of a Nation, 1915. 1915 is the reason why you'll never see righteous black representation on any screen, whether it's the movie screen, the television screen, or in the record industry.
Mm-hmm.
So D.W. Griffith's Birth of a Nation portrayed black men as dangerous and violent. You'll definitely still see that, right? And there was no black men on this screen, all right?
Right.
Dangerous and violent, while glorifying the Ku Klux Klan. It was considered one of the most racist films in history, and its impact is felt nationwide, right? So I put my source up there for the sourceologists that are out there. So D.W. Griffith comes out with this movie, Birth of a Nation.
Mm-hmm.
The same film, quote unquote, that Nate Parker did over, he used that title, right? And if you go look at Luke Cage, the brother that was selling the comics and all kinds of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
he brought up D.W. Griffith as well. So this is the portrayal right here. So even they go as far as to come up with that movie Black Klansman, right? Based off a real life event that they dramatized. So
Right.
the reason why you have the portrayal of black men, women, and children in the entertainment industry is because of this film. Because of 1915 also. So if we look at 1865 to 1965, I'll never stop saying this. When they ask, okay, when America was great, 1865 to 1965. When was the assault on the black family? 1920 to 2020, 100-year war. Okay, it gets its steam and its focus in 1915, 5 years before. If you look at all of them black Greek fraternities and sororities, look at the dates of their establishment. It's right before 1920. So from 1908 up to around 1915. So right before 1920. So the college educated blacks were people that they recruited to be members that would gatekeep and be the ones who would assault the minds of black people while insulting them to play up to white society. So they had a whole 100-year war where they utilized our people against us and everybody else on the planet. So there was no protection from black people as a collective from black people or anybody else in the world. So the pictorial images, the graphics, the cinematic, the television, the entertainment industry, all of those things. Even if you look at some of the early records, the black people who created the music wasn't on the album. They had put white faces on the album. So many of those albums and many of those people that were there, that's a whole nother story, but it ties in regards to what the music industry. You know, one of my research questions from the book that I'm writing, the documentary that I'm working on, does the hip hop industry owe black people reparations? I didn't even take it to the entire industry. I just looked at the hip hop industry, you know, knowing that these are the same people. They're not different. They're the same people from the casino. Yep. They're the same people through prohibition. You understand? They're the same people all the way through, and especially down in the Delta. Once they figured out down in this oasis of black talent on a multitude of levels, they told you about an all black town in that film. That's a real town. That Sammy ain't want no parts of going. With everything that he heard and he seen from his cousins, his ass still wanted to be in Chicago. And where did we find him 60 years later? In Chicago.
In Chicago, sitting at that bar with that scar on his face.
You know what I'm saying? After everything that he's been through, after everybody sacrificed their life, you know, they always be talking about, oh, these people sacrificed their life so you could be in this position. For you to go to a place that they left and they told you 60 years ago wasn't no place for your black ass, you still wanted to go up there.
Right.
And look at where that got you, quote unquote.
Right.
So it's just very interesting in these pictorial images, and these are some of the things that I get into when you start looking at these movements. You should research these movements, who funded these movements, who's behind these movements, all of these things, because you could be jumping up, shaking your fist like Black Dot was talking about. You start riding one of these trains and you figure out that the folks you thought was in charge ain't the ones who's in charge. And the folks who financed all these movements, they don't look like you, fam. And if they do look like you, they don't owe no allegiance to you whatsoever. So,
right. Look at hip hop. Look at hip hop. The hip hop started. Mind you, I'm a Bronx girl. For those watching, I am a Bronx girl through and through, born and raised. And it started on Sedgwick Ave through the oppression that they were going through and everything. You know, the South Bronx was very poor. And now all the way, let's fast forward all the way to this point in 2025. You do not see many faces that look like us that are either leading, owning, or running things in the boardrooms.
Right. And if they are, they compromised.
Right.
Most of them. So see, look, even Ryan Coogler made the book. Okay. All right. All right. You see what I'm saying? Up in the book right there. Okay? So start looking. So this is one of those ways to have a courageous conversation with, with your children, with your peer group, with your, your family. Y'all can look at, some of these people. These are my elders right here, the Barudis and Dr. Remember I Need. And a few of them been guests. This my priest right here. So that's why I was saying earlier about traditions. Like y'all be talking to people, and y'all be out here, acting like y'all know something. Be listening to these fools. They don't know nothing about none of these traditions they espousing to know about all of a sudden because some movie came out. Like, nah, fool.
Right.
No,
They hop on the
this
trend.
is Dr. Baina Bello right here, the foremost scholar on the Haitian Revolution. You see what I'm saying? She has documented and show all of the evidence and the letters and all of these things for the last 50, 60 years. You see what I'm saying? Like, so when you start looking at people and, credentials, these are the things that you should be looking at. So again, my priest, Oba Adedayo, the foremost scholar on spiritualism as it relates to America, and one who has popularized and gave emphasis to that term. But he's a priest of many facets. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of these things that they were doing, and if they really wanted some of this real stuff about what's going on, they should have hollered at him. You see what I'm saying? So these aspects now with terms of Afrofuturism and things like that, these are things that he's talking about. He's also an author. He got some prolific books out too as well. So yeah, definitely somebody to tap in and be a resource of. See, I celebrate my teachers and my elders. You know what I mean? So, the vibrant colors that's in this book, I wanted real black faces. I wanted you to fall in love with the imagery because, again, like I said, Jazzy, like this is for young people. And you can't just be moving young people with some slick words. That might work for some adults. They might amen you, but them children gonna be like, man, when is this over? You don't shut up. You understand? So you put this all together, and this is what it is. So again, this is everything together. What can't we accomplish when we look at ourselves righteously versus how our enemies want us to see ourselves?
Not even what can't we accomplish. What we have accomplished so much already.
Right.
That we don't get credit for. Like
so yeah, I just wanted to shout out that book right quick, and that book is available on my website.
please, I'm telling you now.
You can get all of those books, the 6 books. Matter of fact, let me just show y'all real quick. Show y'all real quick. Instant. You don't gotta wait for nothing. You don't gotta wait for nothing in the mail. You can get all 6 of these ebooks today for $45.
Come on now.
All right. Yeah, before the price go back up. Okay, so they on special for $45. You can get them from my website. I done did how many specials I done did already? To have 3 or 4 where I made it half of the price.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Like I say on the culture, and I'm gonna say it over here because it ain't no different. If we don't support our own, who gonna do it? So y'all go run them books on up. And the same way y'all could be out here buying LV and Gucci and all that other stuff, do the same with these books.
Look, I don't even need if they buying all that. I don't care. Look, I ain't making that comparison. All right, this is $45. You can't even buy one shoe for this price. Okay, and you getting 6 books. You know what I'm saying? The way them sneakers cost and them boots cost nowadays, you can't even get one shoe for $45. So you get 6 books.
You can't even get a keychain for $45.
Right.
That's right. I like that right there. Show up, show out, know your worth, and support who supports you. All right now.
Yeah, so let me go right here, right quick, so y'all can see what's going on. Yeah, so you go on the website, scroll down a little bit. This is Voices of Diaspora series, the ebook series. There's 10 ebooks in all 7. Book 7 will be out by the end of this month. And I'm still working on 8, 9, and 10. I decided now 8, 9, and 10 will be an anthology of Do the Knowledge Radio series. Which
Okay.
this is year 10. This
Yeah.
is we're closing in on 4,000 episodes. The last time I got up here was 9 years, 3,400 episodes. So that's what you see
Yeah.
behind me. And again, our shaking Yetta is in the chat. So if y'all need some graphic work, she is the bomb diggy bomba danga dang diggy diggy bomb
Matter of fact,
diggy
Kenyatta, she
diggy.
good. I'm gonna add you when we get off of this stream. I'm gonna add her off of my personal page. And I'm gonna share your work as well, because
Yeah. Okay. Because she
that's
got
the
me
reason.
looking dope. Okay. I don't want y'all to think I came up with it. Okay. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I want to tell you something.
Look,
So
we
you
see
gotta
the
have,
feminine aura coming from behind you. We know that's a female work right there.
yeah, we love it. You understand what I'm saying? So look, we gotta it's y'all if y'all know me, y'all know. If y'all don't know me, you know. But you're gonna learn today. So yes, this right here, this greatness right here.
Okay.
All right.
He was out here
www.
telling ghost stories and doing what he ought to do.
That's
Okay.
it. That's it. We just out here having fun, telling those stories. Okay. Waiting for somebody to take me in their arms tonight.
Oh shoot! Now wait a
Mhm.
minute.
Check out my little cousin. Okay. Day, is this your cousin? Good, you fine.
What he
Go to
said? Is y'all twins? No, we cousins.
no, we good. Okay. Yeah, he said cousins like they did in what was that show? Hoodlum.
Yes.
The original Hoodlum.
Yes.
What's buzzing, cousin? Okay, what's buzzing, cousin? So yeah. Definitely epic. So y'all go check it out. If y'all want to get it from me directly, y'all could do so via Cash App or PayPal. Let me put that up there right quick. Okay.
You know what? I also because I forgot about this part too. Just to rewind back to that movie real quick. Because a lot of people who don't know who he is or even of his work, Buddy Guy was the one who was actually playing Sammy at the end as an old man. And if you don't
Right.
know who Buddy Guy is, like he's like a big time old blues musician, and
Right.
also the father to female rapper Shauna, who was down with
Yeah.
Ludacris back in the day. So,
DTP.
you know, to see I want to say Ryan Coogler did his big one with this. I am looking forward to seeing what he does next. And I was on another watching another stream, two guys podcast, which they kind of review movies and stuff, and they posed the question of who is better, Ryan Peele, is that his name? Peele? No, excuse me, Jordan Peele and
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler. Who's the best out of both of them? Whose movies are better? You know me. Bro, you know me.
Oh man.
Even though I like both, however, Jordan Peele ain't got nothing on Ryan Coogler. I'm sorry.
Jordan Peele need to go sit his monkey ass down somewhere. Okay? His monkey ass. Okay.
Well,
Because
I
he just
think
came
that-
out with something called Monkey Paw. Okay. Go sit your monkey
Well, I
ass
think
down.
Get Out was a good movie. I'm not going to take away from the success of that movie whatsoever. However, baby,
Get Out was good at whose
was-
expense?
right.
Get Out was good at whose expense? Okay. So
Right.
the only black woman in the character is called the B word twice by a black man, right? And there was nothing. The black woman wasn't doing nothing in the movie. She got called the B word twice. But the white girl, she got to die with dignity. Mama got to die with dignity. He didn't say nothing inflammatory or derogatory about this. You
No.
understand? Nothing. Like he was damn near dead, and he still was trying to love on Rose. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? So like, and she had him in the basement, and she was targeting some other NBA player.
First of all, he was stupid from the beginning. He was dumb from the beginning because there ain't no way you're gonna take my black ass to no wooded area out in West Bubblefuck, and and I'm the only shade out there besides the other brother who's dressed like he back in the 1930s.
Right.
Ain't
so
no way.
Again, this is that thing, face to face. This dude from Brooklyn, and then next time you see him, and they got my boy over there, Lil Rel, like, why is he dressed like that? Like, this simple stuff. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, little simple stuff. Like, he went and go told the black lady, Erica Alexander, and then she go get the Spanish dude and the white dude to look at this black dude like he's an idiot. Like, he don't know nothing that he's talking about. That is crazy. Then she's like, don't say I ain't do nothing for you. So again, these are two black characters. One who got this onus to this family, quote unquote. She found out she's the grandmother, and this black woman, she's supposed to be a detective, and this black man coming in with this tip, even though he presented it a little wild. You understand what I'm saying? She didn't even think to investigate it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And then she brought, the Spanish guy and the white dude in there to laugh at him. So again, this is Monkey Paw over here playing.
I'm gonna just say it because this is through the perspective of someone that is, yes, he does have his father's black, right, or something of that nature, because his mother is white, or something like that. He has a percentage of black in him. So this is through the perspective of someone that is really not immersed in the culture, has no idea about the culture of African Americans, does not even deal with that side at all. And if you watched anything on any of his work on what is that channel? They used to be on Comedy Central. If you watch any of their working at Comedy Central, he's always playing these stereotypical what they think black people are all the time. So that's where that was coming from with Jordan Peele.
Yeah. So that in comparison to somebody who never shied away from, something like social justice. He gave us Fruitville Station, right?
Don't get talked about enough.
He gave us Fruitville Station, and him and Michael B. Jordan been rocking ever since. So Fruitville Station, and then you get the Creed movie, then you get Black Panther, then you get Creed 2, and then you get Black Panther 2, and then Creed 3. In the middle of it, you look at the breakdown. He does Fruitville Station and Creed, and then Creed 2 is directed by somebody he went to film school with, his friend from film school. He gives him that role to direct, Stephen Cable Jr., right? Along with his brother and his wife's help. So they direct Creed 2, right? Stephen Cable Jr. goes on to direct the Transformers movie. So now look at your tree. Now look at the people that's coming in with you. Now his wife, his brother, production company. They come together. They make these films, and then he starts peeling off people that he worked with, people he went to school with, people that's in his network. By Creed 3, Michael B. Jordan is the director. His directorial debut is something that he's a franchise of. That tells the story of a forgotten child from Creed legacy. Come on. You see what I'm saying? Like, brings in Felicia Rashad to play the mother. You know, you see what I'm saying? Like, you know, the queen that was his love interest on the film.
Let me just
The
say
black
this.
girl who was hearing impaired. Like, they put so many aspects into that series, and then, you know, kind of pushed it out to the world. Go ahead.
Anytime you bring in Felicia Rashad,
Yeah,
Cicely Tyson,
right.
Maya Angelou, in any type of movie, I don't care what their character is, who they are, baby, you get ready to get some knowledge, okay, somewhere down the line, even if it's just a line, a word, or a look from them. They are always giving something to us. Those three
Mhm.
women, and may rest God. And you know what's crazy? When I interviewed Bill Duke, he spoke so highly of Cicely Tyson and the work that she has done and their friendship. You know,
Right.
not only was she a trailblazer and a wonderful actress, but he said that she was a friend like no other.
Right.
So to see these powerful type of women in movies at the age that they are, it's a beautiful thing to me. I feel like.
And she portrayed, you know, one of those warrior queens who don't get talked about enough, Madam St. Clair in Hoodlum, like what she was for Harlem for real.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like, and she was the queen in that movie. You understand? Like, she put all of that all in that role right there. You see what I'm saying? So that understanding was something, you know. So ain't no numbers in Harlem without Madam St. Clair.
Okay.
So, you know, that's, you know, one of those things again. So when you outside of the cultural experience and you just know it from some sort of fun and games type of perspective, you're not going to see what it is. But if you're there as a bloodsucker, you see what I'm saying? You know, this movie took place in 1932 when they first started the Tuskegee experiment.
Mm-hmm.
And the Tuskegee experiment lasted for 50 years. You see what I'm saying? If not longer, because it was well into the Vietnam War. So what else was happening? What other things that were going on that date in Mississippi? A black family was killed as a retaliation for a black dude that had killed the sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
Sheriff was harassing them, killed the sheriff, and they went on a manhunt house to house looking for him. Sound familiar? They went on this manhunt and they went to this house with this family and they killed everybody in the family because they thought that they was hide. They said that they was hiding him. You see what I'm saying? So when Delroy Lindo, we didn't even get to Dr. Slim, when he was talking about how his friend that got strung up at that train station, that's how easy it was.
Right.
So literally on that day, October 16, 1932. Now this takes place between October 15 and October 16. That's one day, right? But that day in real Mississippi history, in that county, that happened. So that was crazy, you know, within itself. And October 16, 1992, in Chicago, you know what came out?
What?
Candyman.
Oh yeah.
So, like, these things is not coincidental.
Crazy.
So, this whole family, and one of the ladies, her name was Annie.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you go do your history, you go do your research, you'll see why a name like Annie was chosen. You see what I'm saying? So that kind of thing, like nothing gets missed. You know, nothing gets missed. Uh, it was interesting. And I think the last thing we could talk about real quick was the spiritual redemption. There's a redemption that happened spiritually in the film,
Mhm.
uh, but between Smoke and Annie, right?
Mhm.
Because the entire time he had a preoccupation with his daughter's passing and
Mhm.
her not being able to help her with the traditions that she knew, right? There was nothing that she could do. Like there was nothing that she could do for his brother, but prepare him for what was in front of him and what was going to happen, which she did. And she did it both times. And she had protected him and his brother all of their life with
Right.
everything that they
That
were into.
necklace.
Yeah, right. And just for her prayers. So again, like they be talking about prayer don't work. Like your
Sure.
praying grandmothers is the reason why you here. You understand what I'm saying? So
Okay.
again, you know, shout out to Oba, my priest, because those are the things that you take for granted. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like wherever your ancestors are right now, they're still praying for you right now. Are you returning that? Are you
Right.
are you praying for them? You see what I'm saying? So uh, this was something. For all of the other things, I didn't hear anything about the spiritual redemption because at the end he said, "I believe now." Like he could see the evidence right there in front of his face, but he recognized what had happened, so he gets to vocalize it because his brother couldn't bite him because when he got close to that hex bag, and when he took the hex bag off, he was susceptible. You
Right.
know, I was so glad for Emmett Till and Mamie Till for that cinematic redemption that them Klansmen came up there looking for them and they got what their asses had coming to them. Every
Okay.
bit, nobody got to leave. Okay, so I was like, if I could have just seen that part about 100 times in a row, I was good to go. You know what I'm
I
saying? I
ain't even
put
gonna front. I rewinded a couple of times. It was.
oh yeah,
I ate crackers and watched that scene a couple of times. I had a little juice. I was thoroughly pleased with that
yeah,
scene.
that was bugged out because th- that warning. If I said something and I meant it, and you came back to violate, oh yeah, we was waiting for you. I ain't go out looking for you, but if you
Right.
showed up, I was waiting for you. I knew that your ass was going to be there. I
But I
knew it.
want to
You know.
tap on the part where Annie calls Smoke by his real name because she says Elijah. And I'm not probably quoting it verbatim, but she says something to the effect of Elijah, get that smoke off of you, give me back the baby. In other
Mhm,
words, she was cleansing him because he was
mhm,
transitioning over
mhm.
to them, cleansing him from his past.
Right.
So that's why she called him Elijah, and they were
Yeah.
in white, and he was leaving his past life behind, all his transgressions, all the things that he's done. Now here is a new life.
Right. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. So that redeeming quality, and even for everything I had said about Sammy, being on his way, blah blah blah. Um, he he lived his dream out.
Right,
And that was a redeeming thing. You see what I'm saying? So even
right.
that guitar where he thought it came from Charlie Patton, it came from their father, right?
Hmm.
So that's why his father was so adamant about him not messing around with that because he saw what happened to his brother. You see what I'm saying? And how it messed him up and destroyed him. See, I think that's a point to discuss really quick, and I want to hear your thoughts. We're not connecting with our children in the way that we supposed to because we too busy trying to do this, do as I say, not as I do thing, this high and mighty. I'm so far removed from all of these other things that's going on that I can't sit down with you and talk to you. If you remember, Jazzy, when the Freaknik tapes came out and people was up in arms, like, come on,
And
it
then
ain't nothing like
look,
sitting down with your children and saying that you was young. Like, stop trying to do all of this old extra stuff. Like, if he would have used that time instead of him going in Corinthians 10 and 30 and doing all that and blah blah blah, instead of sitting down with him and say, "Hey, I know you love this guitar. I know you love the blues."
He wasn't being a father. He was being
It
a
sound like it remind me of my brother, your uncle. You know,
right.
he loved the blues, and this is what happened to him. And I don't want these same things to happen to you.
I took
Father
that
to son, it would have been something. Go ahead.
Sammy and his father, like, I don't think he was being a father in that time frame. I think he was more focused on still showing his flock that, you know, oh, my son, I'm trying to get my son over to this side and teach him this. It was more for show for his flock. And I didn't like that. I think if he would have maybe, like you said, took the moment to actually sat down, talk to Sammy, you know, what is it about this guitar that you can't part with this? Or what is it about this dream or goal that you are so driven to go by? And that happens a lot within our culture. And, you know, and sad to say, a lot of our culture and the parent, or a lot of the people in our culture, parent-wise, don't take that extra time to sit down with their kids and talk to them and just get to know them. Yeah, you might know them because you've had them and birthed them, but do you really know a lot of them, like their inner thoughts, their private secrets and stuff like that? Like me and my mom, I can actually say have a great relationship. And you know that as long as you have known me, like me and my mom are really tight. Now, does she get on my nerves sometimes? Of course, who mom don't get on their damn nerves? However, my mom knows when I'm upset. My mom knows when, okay, she's stressing. My mom knows when, okay, she really want to do this. You really like this. So this and that. But that's because my mom has gave me that energy and that time and has sat down and been the mother to me that I needed her to be. And that has gone on with me and now my kids, my 3 children. I sit down with them. Well, what's wrong? Well, why, you know, you want to pursue this? Okay, well, let's do that. Look at we just had an episode last night where my son was featured in.
Right.
And his 3 other best friends from their school, and they just put out their first time authors, 10 years old.
That's
all
right.
10-year-olds. First time Black little boy authors. They wrote a book, I Am Somebody. And what did I do? You wrote a book? Okay, we gonna nurture this. I'm gonna sit down. Do you want to do this? Do you want to do the show? Do you want to advertise your book? What do you want to do? My son said, let's do it. Okay, well, we gonna do it then. And we nurtured it. We're trying to grow this thing. And anything that he wants to do, or my 2 other daughters. And we need more of that in our culture. And I think that's what Sammy's father missed the mark on in that movie. Yeah, he went on to live his dream, but you were so upset why he couldn't part with that banjo or guitar, but it kind of saved his life. It saved his life in that movie.
The thing that his father said that was true, and the part that we might have missed, was he was preparing his son like his cousin was. Mm-hmm. You could go do this in that, in that black town and do like your father did. You see what I'm saying? Like, look, he told him, like, this is your last juke. And if I hear about you being any kind of way over here, I kill you myself, is what he said to him. And he meant it. You see what I'm saying? And he meant it, but he meant it in a way, I'm looking out for you, not in a way like I would actually harm you, because he actually gave his life for him to be there. So, yeah, when he said, my son has had his bout with evil. And he saw him in the state that he was in, and he recognized where he was. So he basically said he fought all night with the devil and been redeemed.
Mm-hmm.
But that whole church right there, where because people say, "Oh, the Lord's Prayer, it didn't work for him," and blah blah blah. That whole church was in there praying for him. You see what I'm saying? Like that whole entire church, everybody in white, blah blah blah, like all that significance. If y'all don't see spiritualism, y'all be missing what y'all be seeing with your own eyes. Like that whole entire church is Mama on the front row. The choir singing "This Little Light of Mine," right? And the light of the sun is what had vanquished the quote unquote vampires, right? And then even Remick, he got taken up in the whirlwind. That was interesting.
Right.
But they're there, and this is the place that he goes back to with that piece of himself, right? That piece of himself that was connected to that thing still. And he was holding on for dear life to this thing, right? And even after his cousin told him the truth about who it came from his uncle. So not only is he living out his quote unquote dream, he's living out the dream of his uncle,
right,
that died because of the trauma and the hell of losing his wife, with his sons coming in through childbirth, because Stack was breached in her and they had to get him out, and he almost didn't make it, and she died as a result of that.
Right.
So now you're looking at your children and the sorrow that came along with your children, but the visceral kind of vendetta you have with the son that was still in there, and the reason for you not having your wife no more. So your wife is gone and your dream is gone. So now you're taking it out being abusive. So this is why he asked Sammy, was his daddy putting his hands on him? You see what I'm saying? Because he put his daddy down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, put his daddy down. So, these are all things that you have to come to grips with in regards to having an understanding of what's going on. So that whole little point about him battling with his own demon was that within itself. No matter what nobody told him, he was dead set about leaving and going to Chicago. He didn't even want to go to that black town. So it wasn't nothing really about the music.
Right.
It was really about that whole, ain't nobody going to tell me what I'm about to do and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do what I want to do no matter what. Right. But he did fight and face those things up. And he was still in one piece like they had promised. They said, "Oh, we'll get you back to him in one piece." So he came back in one piece and they got to see him. But he took that word that his cousin said to him, like, "You be strong." So he wasn't able to be tempted again. That's the point. So when they offered him to be able to come over to that side and quote unquote live forever, he's like, "Nah, I seen everything I wanted to see." And they was proud.
First of all,
what I'm saying? Like, they was proud. So it was interesting.
Bro, first of all, I don't blame him. Could you imagine live forever? That's tiring. That sounds tiring. Who want to do that?
But he had met the woman of his dreams that night, and that was the best night and the worst night of his life ever. Like, he had already lived and died. It was like, I don't need nothing. I'm good.
He got
the name of the club was Perlene's. You understand what I'm saying?
And if
Perlene
y'all
changed life.
He named the bar because that was his bar that he was sitting in. He named it Perlene.
Right.
So he lived his life, honey. Once he got between Perlene thighs, that man went out there and he was playing that banjo like he ain't never played that banjo before. And she was out there stomping and clacking around like she ain't never did her whole life.
Okay. And she risked her life for him.
Yup.
And sacrificed her life. Yeah. So basically, that was next level right there. Okay.
But you know what I wonder was?
What you want to do?
Perlene, where was your husband at? Because Perlene was married.
Perlene ain't had no husband.
Perlene was definitely married. Perlene was married. Remember, she told her husband she was going out with the girls.
She ain't told her husband. There wasn't no husband, okay? her walking all the way over there to that Jew. There wasn't no husband.
She told her husband she was going out with the girls and she up there stomping and cackling with her them heels up in the air, okay?
Sammy seen her before that day. Okay, he ain't never seen no husband. Sammy said, I recognize you. You sing, don't you?
He took Stack and Mary's advice and stuck his tongue in her coos, okay? And she ain't been the same.
Praise the Lord. Okay, that's how you do the Lord's work, my boy. Okay. That's how you do, you know. That's the Holy Ghost right there. That's what gives you the Holy Ghost, how you speaking in tongues.
Clearly, he definitely was. Cause
Okay.
But it's crazy that, you know, for centuries and decades, how they said music conjures up all types of spirits. And that's basically what that overall message was in that movie. Because even Remick said, Sammy, we came for you. Like every time he ran into Sammy, it was Sammy. Like, Sammy, you brought us here. And even if, I don't know if y'all noticed, but at the end of
Sammy
that
Davis
movie,
Jr.
yes, when Remick was, after his true form was shown, and he was actually, you know, dying because the sun was out. I don't know if y'all noticed that he even had a sign, he showed a sign of peace because now he was being released from that.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody had their moment where they saw the sun, if that makes sense. Because remember, the brother and Sammy said, you know, when they both saw the sun, and it was the last time he saw his brother alive.
Right.
And so everybody had that moment.
That's it. And that's all their fondest memory.
Yep. Now, when I personally go to that juke joint, no, sir. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
My boy had the Coogee sweater on, okay? New York City lady, okay? New York City lady. He had on that Coogee.
Let me tell you something. I had a Coogee back in the day, and let me tell you how Stax has brought that Coogee back. Okay, that Coogee sweater he had on in the movie, I think it's running for, I want to say $5,000. They said right now, like it's. Kiana said
they're sold out. Okay, I say to the juke joint. Okay.
She said she want a juke joint.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah,
well, I don't want to be Pearline.
They had Ray's Boom Boom Room. Okay.
I'm gonna be at the
I don't know what was the name in the Color Purple. What was the name of their juke joint? Because they had the juke joint, and they went from the juke joint to the church. Okay, with Suge Avery.
What was the name of their damn? What was it? Say. Let me see. Oh, no.
That's what I'm saying. That the sinner came and saved the church. Okay, so look, so y'all gotta stop playing and acting like this ain't like this is some new stuff.
Didn't he name it after Sophia? No, it was Harpo's Juke Joint. That's what it was. Harpo's Juke Joint.
There you go. Harpo's Juke Joint.
Where Harpo said, "What you being in here? Ain't you a married woman?"
Who this woman, Harpo?
Right.
So Sophia didn't playing no games, okay?
Okay, and slid little Harpo girlfriend into that hole. Lord, she ain't know what was coming.
That's it. She left out that juke joint and got the harkening, okay? Look.
No, what happened was she thought that good hair was gonna save her. She got a little cute with the wrong one, and Sophia slid her behind, like, honey, fine with me. I don't want them.
I'm talking about Suge shut down the juke joint and went to the church and brought the whole church into the juke joint into the church. Okay.
To this day, that scene, and I didn't see The Color Purple. Like, it's one of my favorite movies. One of the ones I can watch over and over again. To this day, that scene tears me up. I don't care how old that movie is. That scene tears me up.
Mm-hmm. You seen Lawrence Fishburne playing the guitar, okay?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Unpopular opinion, and I love me some Lawrence Fishburne, but sir, I really can't take you seriously because you beat up Tina. So I can't take you serious. You out here beating up Tina the way you threw that girl on that fish tank, sir. I can't. I'll never forgive you, Fishburne.
I say that we're gonna have a drink called "You Show Is Ugly."
I am weak. Kiana, invite me to that juke joint. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna stand at the door with cornbread though.
How you do with that?
What he said? We
That
honey.
Out there Irish quick walking.
Chop.
They better go ahead and go to bed. Okay?
Now I'll tell you what. If I was at that juke joint at that particular time, let's just say this was, real life, and we was all there. If they would have played, if Remick was out there, this is saying this is for the 99 and 2000s, he might have had my ass. I might have went out there. I ain't gonna lie.
He said Cash Money taking over for the 99 2000.
Yeah, if he would have been like the vampires was taking over for the 99 and 2000s, my ass would have been out there. I would have been fucked up. Fucked up. Yo, you working with some fangs there? Hey, yeah, I would have fucked up.
No, they'd had the fangs out there. Where them fangs at? And everybody went out there with their fangs.
Baby, if they would have played Luke, the 99 and 2000s, and what's the other one? Let Me Clear My Throat. We all would have been out there. We all would have been out there, tore up to shreds. But other than that, I thought it was a great movie. I thought he did his due diligence with this. I thought he took his time. It was written well. It came across well. Awesome. I'm eager to see where this man goes with future work. Yeah. Like, and it's doing numbers right now. Doing numbers. Right. And that just proves that we are the power when it comes to purchase. Okay, we can shut a lot of these stores down if we all came together, but I mean that's another conversation for another day.
So tell the folk that are listening about something for the culture before we get up out of here, since we got some new eyes and new ears, even though I'm sure they seen you over there on Killer Freaks platform. Okay, we're gonna bring you back over there. Mm-hmm.
Well, I am the creator and host, for those who don't know me, of Something for the Culture. I'm sure you'll see my big bro, my mentor, Knowledge here post about it, or he's always on my platform. Y'all can catch me over there normally Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Follow the YouTube channel because we no longer go live on Facebook, just strictly on YouTube now. And that's at Something for the Culture, the number 4, DA Culture podcast on YouTube. Monday night, we'll be back at it again. And we actually have I'm going to have a special co-host from 2.5 Guys podcast. One half of that will be helping me go over a movie, Collection of Contradiction, that you could actually find on YouTube by Black writer Stax Irvin, which will be coming to Tubi soon. Look out for that. And that'll be next Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then we have a lot of great guests coming up, leading up until June to the last episode. Cuban Links will be on there. We have another female author come in to talk about a narcissistic relationship she was dealing with. We have quite a few people, so y'all look out for that.
Tell them where to find you, how to get a hold of you. If they might want to be a guest, or some guests that might want to be over there, okay, and if they might want you on what they doing, okay, how do they do that?
Sure. Of course, you can message me. If you don't have my personal page, you can find me on my personal page. Add me at Jasmine Smith. You can add me there and DM me, or you can DM me through the page of Something for the Culture on Facebook, our show page. Message me there if you want to be on the show, or if you want to advertise. When we do have some great advertising packages, that we offer if you need advertisement for your business or whatever great business venture you have going on. So, and the YouTube again, Cypher, it is Sumthin, SUMTHIN, the number 4 DA Culture Podcast. And my brother's going to put that in the link for you guys. So y'all can go ahead and subscribe. But, bro, thank you. Like always, it's been a pleasure. We have Kiki and Kaka. Look, give me my money. We did in things that we ought to do.
That's it. I won. Give me my money. What? I know. All right, so give us a final word, final remark. Okay, give us something for the culture.
Final words. Be who you are. Stand in your truth. Be unapologetic. Love thy brother and thy sister. Excuse me, not sister, sister with an A. Let me say that with an A. Sister. Okay? And please go out and cop these amazing volumes from my brother. I promise you, it is for the adults, it's for the children. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. It actually should be incorporated in a lot of schools, if you want to be my honest opinion. Bro, love you. You know, none other.
You can't be
Not
Yeah, and one more time, if y'all want to get those books, you put it in the chat one more again.
Thank you, Cypher.
Decipher in the house.
Thank you. Thank you, Communicate. Oh, I love that name. Communicate clearly and be specific. I love that. I love
and be
that
Pacific. Is it be Pacific or specific?
Yes, it's communicate clearly and be specific. I love that.
Yeah. All right, so we up out of here. Go mind somebody else's business. All right.
Right, we about to go do what we ought to do. Okay.
Right. Tell a ghost story. Okay. All right. Peace, y'all.
Here, the centuries of loneliness were to end.
Your collection of Leonardo da Vinci masterpieces, Mr. Flint.
They appeared to have been recently painted on contemporary canvas with contemporary materials.
Then, age, death, the taste of dust. Do you understand?
You wanted a perfect, ultimate woman. As brilliant, as immortal as yourself. Your mate for all time.
Merkaba master, I charted demons to other worlds, drive devils to plaster, rush them to hell, breathing asthma, place Satan on gurneys next to Hermes, send them off to their journey to Cleopatra. They read those chapters, egos captured, the Leo laughter, neoplasma, run through my veins in this matrix, and my basement became a plaza. And now I'm in the Sky Lounge with negative spirit hackers, build on math and we read the chapters, observe through our windows at the quiet disasters, riots at NASA, marches, gender pride, freedom rights for the masses, till we do away with first and second citizen classes. Religion is backwards, trying to comprehend to the pastor. This gym is like Jasper. Either we all live and strive for the youth to survive, or it all ends with the rapture. Forget waiting on the man, I'm making a plan. And for the ages of false statements, I'm taking a stand. Start an investigation on Satan with a cross in my hand. Make him plead guilty, now face the jury. We're in the courts of I am. If I could just vanish from off the planet, like magic, become caught from granite. Days, mathematics is understanding.
Hey, hey, did you hear? This is the perfect place to disappear. Oh, hey, did you hear? This is the perfect place to disappear.
A billion stories in the naked city. Ghost told me that his best friend needs a kidney. We froze, reminisce of Tiffany in the cold. Open whiskey from the 20s in the memory. Sympathy made the angels play a symphony. Said he could've had a scholarship, toured different colleges. Now he's out of it, faded away slowly on dialysis. His name remained anonymous, but here's my acknowledgements. Street legends and hood guards, kingdom fall into a mirage. Ghetto depression sets in, then we place weed and cigars. A child has difficulties concentrating. From where he lives, he sees his promises fading. He sees his pops gone, his mom's is aging. She trying to stay strong for a church congregation. And meanwhile, a kid named Rico was the coke king. A lot of siblings of the dope fiends hope you scream. A lot of children with broken dreams, homes were clean. The most extreme, you got rich and what you sold to queens. Look what you did to Josephine. And Ebony is unheavenly. The devil's ready with open wings. As Lucifer uses love and his youthful mug. Then his blood on the cobra's fangs.
Hey, hey, did you hear? This is the perfect place to disappear.